Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Yeah. Thank you all so much for joining us right here at the beginning of the NAMM show this year. We really appreciate you being here. It's great to see so many people out to hear our announcements here at Line 6. So one of the things that I want to share with you this morning is that we're going to get loud in here this morning. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to get back to guitar and playing, and it's part of some of our announcements. So it's an extremely exciting time for Line 6 at this show. I think many of you probably already know that roughly 30 days ago, we signed a definitive agreement to be acquired by Yamaha and become a subsidiary. We're incredibly excited by that news, and I'd like to invite all of you here in the room to the Yamaha booth in the Marquee Ballroom at the Marriott at 3 p.m. today. I'm going to join President Nakata, and we're going to say a few words about the merger and give some updates then. So hope you can all join. This morning, though, I'm equally excited to share with you what we believe is another Line 6 first. As our marketing teaser campaign has suggested, we believe it's the guitar amp reinvented. And for Line 6, it's reinvented again, because it all started at a NAMM show 18 years ago right here when the company introduced the first ever digital modeling amp. It was the Axis 212. How many of you were actually here for that announcement and remember that? Very cool. A bunch of people in the community. Love it. Love it. Yeah, so 1996, the company hit the scene, had the first ever digital modeling amp, and everyone said, wow, what is this thing? And over the course of nearly 2 decades, Line 6 created a number of digital modeling amps. Matter of fact, at one point became the world's leading manufacturer of guitar amps, period. And during that course of time, we sold over 1 million amps to guitarists. It was a pretty interesting time because if you think about it today, you really can't imagine a world without a digital modeling amp, right? It just sort of is. But yet, back in 1996, there wasn't one. And it's not the first. I know it's a bold statement to say we're going to reinvent something, but it's not even the first or second time. In '98, there was the Pod. This was the first time it was ever easy for guitarists to get a great tone while recording. The Pod franchise has really changed the lives of over 1 million guitarists. It didn't stop there. In 2002, there was the Variax. This was the first ever digital modeling guitar. It could do things that no other guitar could do before it, and today is still the leading digital modeling instrument. And when the internet got hot, Line 6 answered with Guitarport Online. This was the first ever music learning and jamming subscription service. So you can see there's been a number of firsts at Line 6 over the course of almost 2 decades. I've only been with the company for a short time of its history, about the last 2 years, but I can assure you that Line 6 is filled with people who are driven to deliver what's next. And not just the next thing, they're driven to deliver the next big thing. And I know there's probably many of you in the room today and many of our customers out there in the world who have wondered if we're going to deliver the next big thing for guitarists. We did a bunch of introductions recently into live sound for musicians performing live, and I can assure you that not only are we filled with musicians in the company, engineers and technologists, but we are filled with guitarists. And it's through the lens of the eyes of a guitarist we looked at how to reinvent the amplifier. And we did that with a fresh set of eyes looking at the world today. And when we looked out there, this is a scene that we saw. Does this look familiar to what you might see out in the world? Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing that's different in the last 18 years that we saw was the world has shrunk into the palm of your hand, and it's changing a generation. It seems everybody has a smart device, and that device is connected to the cloud, and it's highly social. So we thought, wait a minute, why don't we meet customers there? Why don't we meet them as musicians, as guitarists, at the gateway to their digital lives? And what if we could create a product that combined that with their love for music and the accessibility that we all have to so much music now on computers and mobile devices, and created a product that would give them a reason to pick up their instrument? Now, it's really fascinating. We talked to hundreds of guitarists out there about what the next amp should be. And we learned something that was really similar across everyone. And it's no different for guitarists than it is most of us here in the room. We have very busy lives. Sometimes there's only a few moments in between our busy lives. And we wanted to give guitarists and musicians a reason to enjoy music and pick up their instrument in those moments, rather than spending them on things like texting their friends, checking their Facebook page again, tweeting, retweeting, or even watching the Keyboard Cat on YouTube. And current research is showing that there are a lot of these moments in our lives. The average person today checks their smart device over 150 times a day. Wow. And let's be honest, none of those things are nearly as fulfilling as listening to music and enjoying it or playing the guitar. So, Line 6 set out to design a product a product that looked as good as it sounded, because we wanted that product to fit into as many of those moments as they possibly could. This is a guitar amp that's equally as comfortable on the stage as it is in a dorm room or even in a living room. A product that streams music wirelessly, but a product designed for musicians, because musicians like their music loud, and we all know what sounds good. And frankly, none of the consumer Bluetooth streaming speakers on the market today do either. And finally, an experience for a guitarist through their iOS device that connects them to a world of tone and the community. Socially networked and crowdsourced, it's going to give them a fun reason to pick up their instrument again and be a part of the community. And let's face it, that's why we're on our phones so much today. It's because we're connecting with others. So we call this product AMPLIFi. Yes, it's a guitar amp, but it is a whole lot more. Yeah, some of those images there and some of the words are why we believe that AMPLIFi truly is the guitar amp reinvented. It's two products, but they both have the same promise. And the first promise is the most important one. These things sound absolutely amazing. We spent a lot of time making sure that these were products that musicians would just be excited to just listen to and enjoy their music on. At their core, it's either an 8 or a 12-inch guitar speaker, because this is a guitar amp, and it's loaded with DSP from line 6. But it's also a 5-speaker stereo design at either 75 or 150 watts. These things get loud, and they can produce detailed tones that no other amps can. The effects shine in stereo. They sound amazing as guitar amps. But being stereo, they also make the perfect Bluetooth streaming speaker for musicians. Musicians know what good sounds like. There's no doubt about it. And if you go out there into the consumer market for Bluetooth speakers, you see that this is the new way to enjoy music, right? It's the fastest growing consumer electronic category, by the way, if you didn't know. This is the easy way to stream from your computer or your mobile device and have a good time with music. Unfortunately, AMPLIFi blows everybody else out of the water with its volume and its sound quality. You just can't even compare at the price points that these products are with anything out in the consumer space. I think they're going to be great for musicians. You can stream anything through them. You can stream Pandora, Spotify, your music library, YouTube, you name it. And you can stream it off of a Mac, a PC, an Android device, or even an iOS device. And when you do, you're going to instantly hear the difference. This makes AMPLIFi fantastic for turning up the music loud with friends. It's the perfect thing when you're at a band rehearsal trying to learn a song with the band. And as a guitarist, it is the ultimate jamming platform. And that's where AMPLIFi really starts to shine for guitar players. Our new iOS app will give them a reason to pick up their instrument more. It is the most fun playing that's happened in years. It's pretty easy to use, too. You launch the AMPLIFi app, have access to your iTunes library, find a song you want to jam to, select it, and AMPLIFi is going to shoot the metadata of that song and track up to our Line 6 tone cloud, and we're going to bring back a matched tone, and we're going to download it into the amp automatically. You don't even have to think about it. It just happens instantly. Once you get the result, you can just start playing and having a great time with a great tone. Once you've got the app and you've got a bunch of search results, you can rate that tone so the community can see how you feel about it. Was it good or was it not? You can favorite that tone, and that tone will always then come up for you when you play that song, and it's personalized to everyone who uses the product. It's your own personal favorite tone. You can store the tones, you can share them back with the community. It's all seamless and all simple, and because it's all crowdsourced and socially networked, the more people that use it, rate tones and create tones, the bigger and better that it gets. And we can match so many songs to so many tones because of two reasons. We have over 200 amps and effects in AMPLIFi, great sounding tones coming out of it, and a huge database online up in the cloud that matches these tones to all the songs and artists. So one of the key reasons we created AMPLIFi was to create a community of guitarists, much like Line 6 already has, and a part of that community is adding to tones. There are millions of songs out there, and we'd like to see millions of tones matched to them so that people learning especially can have a great experience right out of the gate. We've got a new editor inside of the iOS app. It's completely intuitive. We think it's going to be so simple to dial up tones now. Customers are going to make even better and better tones for the community. They can tweak them, share, store them locally, or share them back up to the community so they can be rated and favored, and so on. All of this together, the way the product looks so that it fits into all parts of your life, the way it sounds, and the experience that you can have through the iOS device really makes AMPLIFi an experience. It's not just a product.